It was a chilly evening in downtown Los Angeles. The sky was a deep shade of gray, and the wind howled through the narrow streets. The bustling city, usually alive with energy, now seemed cold and indifferent to those who had nowhere to go. Among them was an elderly homeless man, wrapped in nothing but a tattered blanket, shivering against the biting cold. Ben Affleck had just finished a late-night meeting and was walking to his car when he noticed the man curled up in the corner of a deserted alley. Something about the scene struck him. While others hurried past, wrapped in their expensive coats, avoiding eye contact, Ben stopped in his tracks. His heart ached at the sight. Without a second thought, he removed his own thick, warm jacket and walked toward the man. "Hey, sir," Ben said gently, kneeling down. "Here, take this. It's freezing out here." The elderly man, startled, looked up with weary eyes. He hesitated, his hands trembling as he reached out. You don't have to do this, son." Ben smiled warmly. "I want to. Please, take it." As he draped the jacket over the man's shoulders, something shifted. A few pedestrians who had been passing by slowed down, witnessing the moment. A young woman took out her phone and discreetly snapped a picture, moved by the unexpected kindness from a Hollywood star. The homeless man, whose name was Henry, clutched the jacket tightly. His eyes welled up with tears. "I haven't been warm in days. Thank you. Thank you so much." Ben sat down beside him on the pavement, unbothered by the stares of onlookers. "What's your name?" he asked. "Henry," the man replied softly. "Used to be a carpenter before everything fell apart. Lost my wife to cancer. Lost my home when I couldn't keep up with the bills. Been out here ever since." Ben listened intently, his expression filled with empathy. "That's rough, Henry. No one should have to go through that." A local cafe owner who had been watching from across the street walked over, inspired by what he had just seen. He held out a cup of hot coffee. "Here, sir. This is on the house." Henry hesitated before taking it, his fingers still stiff from the cold. "Thank you. I don't know what to say." Ben turned to the cafe owner. "Does your place still have that job opening for a handyman?" The owner nodded. "Yeah, actually, we could use an extra pair of hands." Ben looked back at Henry. "You mentioned you were a carpenter. Think you'd be interested in some work?" Henry's eyes widened. You serious?" He glanced at the cafe owner, then back at Ben, his voice shaky with disbelief. "I haven't had a job in years." "Then maybe it's time to change that," Ben said with a grin. The cafe owner smiled warmly. "Come by tomorrow morning. We'll get you cleaned up and see what you can do." Tears rolled down Henry's cheeks. "I don't know how to thank you both." Ben patted his shoulder. "Just pay it forward someday, Henry." Over the next few weeks, Henry started working at the cafe. The story of Ben's kindness went viral, and soon, people from all over reached out to help Henry get back on his feet. A local shelter offered him a place to stay, and a generous donor helped him secure a small apartment. With renewed purpose and stability, Henry slowly rebuilt his life. One day, a journalist reached out to Henry, wanting to share his story with a wider audience. As the article was published, more people offered support, and a nonprofit organization specializing in helping homeless individuals stepped in to assist Henry with financial planning and medical care. Months later, as Ben walked by the same cafe, he saw Henry inside, laughing with customers. Their eyes met, and Henry rushed outside. "Ben, you won't believe it. I saved enough to rent a small place." He pulled out a neatly folded jacket. "And I got this for you." Ben chuckled, recognizing the gesture. "Henry, you didn't have to." Henry grinned. "I wanted to. Because of you, I got a second chance. Now, I want someone else to have the same." Tears welled up in Ben's eyes as he took the jacket. "You're a good man, Henry." As the weeks passed, Henry became a well-loved figure in the community. Inspired by his journey, he began volunteering at the local shelter, sharing his story and helping others get back on their feet. One cold evening, Henry saw a young man huddled in a bus stop, shivering. He walked over, took off his own jacket, and gently placed it over the young man's shoulders. "Here, take this. It's freezing out here." The young man looked up, stunned. "You don't have to do this." Henry smiled, repeating Ben's words from that fateful night. "I want to. Please take it." And just like that, the cycle of kindness continued. A simple act of compassion had started a ripple effect, proving that even in the coldest nights, warmth could always be found in the human heart.